Okay, what weird weather today. It's sunny and then it rains. And right now, if you look at the background, it probably looks sunny, but it actually is raining. Let's see what it ends up being for the rest of the day. And what did I read today? I think it's kind of interesting where apparently Microsoft's going to release a Windows 11. To my knowledge, before they said Windows 10 was the final Windows. That's it. They'll just keep upgrading it from then on. But yeah, apparently they have a new announcement coming soon. And everyone's saying it's Windows 11. I guess if you are upgrading a computer or something like that, maybe you should hold off and see what this is, assuming you use Windows. And the other stuff I read today were kind of crazy. Apparently with drones and stuff, they're all crashing. What's going on? The first one was Hubsan apparently had like this live stream about their Hubsan Zino Mini Pro. If you guys remember that, it's supposed to compete with things like the Mini and all that. But I guess during the live stream, as it was hovering, I guess it's impressive that it could last that long, like almost like what, 40 minutes or something like that, just staying in the spot hovering. But then all of a sudden, I guess when the battery started to die off, you can see the drone, it goes kind of crazy. And then, unfortunately, it did crash eventually. You can see the shock in their face. So that's not a good way to start, I guess, your product launch in terms of advertising and all. It makes me wonder if this will actually sway opinions. If people are on the fence or if people pre-ordered, maybe they'll say, oh, maybe you better hold off until all the kinks and stuff are fixed, which is kind of true for a lot of the products anyways. When you buy them first generation, they're probably gonna have tons of problems and stuff like that. Would like give DJI the edge in terms of consumer confidence, but that was the interesting thing because the next story I read, apparently it was a Matrice drone, like the larger one. It went out of control apparently and it injured someone. This one says, NTSB investigating drone pilot injury. The NTSB says the pilot of the DJI Matrice drone suffered a serious hand injury after tangling with the uncooperative aircraft near Young Harris, Georgia on May 6. And from what I gather, apparently the issue may have been with DJI's GeoZone software, where even though they took off, I guess afterwards for some reason to determine, nope, I'm not allowed to be here, and basically it was unresponsive. It says the purpose of the flight was to demonstrate the drone capabilities for a potential customer with a payload that consisted of a ZenMoose H2OT camera and a Wingslens Z15 spotlight. The flight location was very close to a DJI GeoZone designated as restricted zone. According to DJI, in restricted zones which appear red, the DJI Go application users will be prompted with a warning and flight is prevented. GeoZones that prohibit flight are implemented around locations such as airports, power plants, and prisons. The RPIC stated that he performed a normal takeoff and flew the drone to the west over a wooded area about 393 feet above ground level. He stated that during the spotlight demonstration, the drone was unresponsive to control inputs, so he utilized the return to home function. During the RTH descent towards the home point, the drone hovered about 7 feet AGL over a vehicle in the parking lot and was still unresponsive to any control inputs. When the drone would not land, the RPIC grabbed onto the landing gear and attempted to physically move the drone away from the vehicle. The RPIC requested assistance from the demonstration attendee and handed him the remote controller. With guidance from the RPIC, he attempted several times to shut down the motors while the RPIC held onto the landing gear with both hands. Finally, the RPIC attempted to remove the drone batteries when a propeller blade struck his right hand several times, which caused tendon and nerve damages. After the injury was sustained, the RPIC continued to hold onto the drone for several minutes until the batteries were exhausted and the motors stopped. Man, can you imagine that? This isn't like a Mavic or anything like that, where those propellers, or a lot of them, like the Minis for example, they're not as strong. This one's like humongous and stuff too. The only other thing I could think of is you could push the controller sticks in a way where it actually kills the power afterwards, and yeah, it'll just fall. Although if it was that, I guess, close to the ground and stuff, that might have been the best option as opposed to actually just holding it. Plus it was hovering according to this, correct? If it's hovering, you might as well just wait till the battery dies itself as opposed to actually trying to wrestle it there. I guess ultimately too, according to this anyways, it was a restricted airspace, but for some reason it let him take off. I would imagine maybe it was something due to GPS and all that. But I have heard that many times before where, let's just say with their Geofence software, you could be flying perfectly okay, but all of a sudden it'll determine, nope, you can't fly, and people have lost drones and stuff that way too. I guess every manufacturer has their setbacks. It just depends on, I guess, which one do you trust the most, I guess, for your needs and all that. Alright, see you guys later.